What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back. It's the third episode.
Yeah.
I'm Donnie, Scott, and Tyler.
Hi guys.
What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us.
In the last video, we spoke about the AFC West. Today, going back to the desert, going to the West Coast, and we're talking about the NFC West.
Yep.
One of my favorite divisions.
And it won't take very long.
Just a couple of my favorite teams players are in
Yeah.
Alright, to dive right into it, Tyler, where are we going with the Cardinals?
Let's just start at David Johnson.
Yeah, nowhere.
Half the offense he gave them last year, so without him, he's nothing. That's why he was most of your league MVPs and why he carried most of you guys to your championships last year.
Yeah.
But I know in our league he went pretty late. I think he went second round because nobody really bought into the hype last year.
Yeah. Well, the year before he only played 7 games, and he was good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he went. Yeah. That's funny. The guy that won our league actually traded him to him, but the guy before him picked Gurley because everybody had Gurley, even though I was the first one on that train. Saying that's a bust. And then Johnson went in the second round after Gurley. It's pretty crazy. He ended up being the best fantasy player.
Yeah, I mean he had his yardage wasn't as rushing yards wasn't as good as you would expect it to be.
Right.
But he's a hell of a receiver.
It was crazy. I mean, you know what's funny too? He's not really he doesn't have like 1,600 yards rushing. I think he had like 12. I'm trying to find the stat.
Yeah, 1239.
1239, which isn't really great for the best.
But he put 16 touchdowns on.
Right. So, but he had how many catches did he have? Like 80 catches.
Over 800
and Bruce
yards.
Bruce Arians was on Good Morning Football, and he said he should have had 45 more catches, but he just ran bad routes at the beginning of the year.
Guys, if they didn't have Fitzgerald, he would lead that team in rushing and receiving. Dude, that is nuts.
He finished, if he was a wide receiver, would have finished as the number 17 wide receiver in all you guys' leagues in PPR.
And he's like 4th in rushing.
And he's 4th in rushing.
So maybe in 3rd. That's crazy.
It's pretty insane.
He's so dominant.
He had over 290 carries last year, and he's probably going over 300 this year.
Yeah, probably. I don't see him changing whatsoever.
No,
he's the offense, right? If he goes down, just get rid of everybody.
There's no question marks with him either.
Right.
I don't think so.
I think it's one of the reasons why that defense is actually somewhat relevant in fantasy football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
he has some short fields, but you look at any time Palmer drops back to pass, if you guys started to watch the end of the year, first look was David Johnson, no matter where he was.
Yeah, goal line, receive. Don't worry about it. He comes out.
3rd and 18, he's looking for David Johnson out of the backfield.
Right. And at the 1, if they check into the pass and he goes out to the goal line, don't think he's not running a slant. He's getting that touchdown still.
Oh yeah, he still is. And they put him out in the slot, so you're literally getting the number. If you take him at 1, and you're lucky enough to get him, because this is how much better I think he is than Bell. But I know a lot of you guys might disagree.
Right.
But he can line up as a receiver. And he's still a top 20 wide receiver on top of being a top 3 running back in the league.
Yeah.
So you get someone that special. It's like filling 2 spots with one guy, honestly.
And then like I said, that really helps that defense staying off the field. Like that defense has aged a little bit. They moved on from Calais Campbell.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson's
he's good.
So
the safety's good. So
as long as Matthews is healthy,
but that's all because of Johnson. Though. That's not because of. Believe me, that's not because of Carson Palmer.
No, it's
Captain INT is not going to help you that fact. He really tailed off. He did put up 4,200 yards, which was a little surprising because in our league, he was a free agent and he was just bad.
He had 26 touchdown passes too.
Yeah. So. A lot of that came in the beginning. Yeah. I think Fitzy got old. Halfway through that year, he
had a quiet good year.
After that Niner game, I think it was the second Niner, he really just slowed down. He was great. I kind of see him that way this year. I like him early. I don't
think he
gets
100 catches though. Let's be honest with that.
Yeah.
I think John Brown is one of the guys to watch on this team.
I agree.
Because he's young, electric. He was out with a concussion.
And he had sickle cell disease too.
Yeah, something like that.
And sickle cell, so that was.
So he only played.
He was never healthy all year.
He didn't play in that many games.
Right, and when he played, he was not the same. Now you look at his numbers the year
before. He was like Alan Hearns when he was in Jacksonville the year before.
Yeah, he was a really solid flex player. Maybe a wide receiver 3 if you're on a team like our league starts.
Yeah, we start 3 receivers.
So he was a wide receiver 3 or flex player, and consistently.
Oh, 100%.
Now Palmer was also 2 years younger. Fitzy was 2 years younger. They didn't even have David Johnson then. But they had, I think they drafted, I think they signed C2K that year.
Yeah, they did.
That first year.
That was the one where they had Ellington, they drafted some other guy out of Stanford, I forget his name.
So I think, a lot of guys you could have as spots. No one's really great except for David Johnson. I think Fitzy's good. And Brown, like Tyler said, he's a great sleeper in the late rounds. Because I'm telling you, there's not a lot of people that even know who he is. And if you're in a 12 or 14 team league, and you're looking for someone in rounds 13, 14, and there's no
It's
names
pretty
out there,
insane.
take a look. I mean, we would have him higher if, he was...
If he played all last year.
Like next year, he'll probably be a little bit higher, but that's
And you
why
guys
he's a
will see
sleeper.
that.
Fitzy, boy, that has to be the quietest 100-catch season.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, he did it all in the beginning, because
He
the end of
did.
the
He was
year
a monster.
he was not as good at the end of the year.
And guys, keep an eye on his numbers against San Fran. His numbers skyrocketing. He eats alive San Fran.
I mean, everyone's going to eat a live San
True,
Fran. You'll
but
hear about that in a
You
minute.
look at Fitzy's numbers against San Fran than against everybody else. If you're looking for a spot start or something like that, and he's your flex player, you play him against the Niners, like you do everybody else. But that's probably where he's best, and I like him between weeks 1 to 8. Maybe you get him in weeks 1 to 6, and you draft him because he shouldn't go too high. I think his ADP we have it around 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's
He
about
might be a little bit later in our rounds, but maybe you keep him for the first 6 weeks. He has that good game against San Fran weeks 5, 7. I don't know. I'll pull the schedule. He has a big game, and then you try to trade him for something because he is going to fade off. He is 117 years old.
And
with
Carson Palmer, guys, don't fall in love with his name from the past.
Right.
Because you can get someone like Phillip Rivers that we talked about in our last video.
Right.
That's going to outscore him, and you get him way later.
I don't think he even puts up the 4,200 yards he put up last year.
Might not.
Now he's not going to lose the job because Skeleton behind him is not going to take it.
No way.
So he's not losing the job, although he does get hurt. He got a little dinged up last year, and Skeleton came in.
Yeah.
And don't worry about if he does. I tell you what, if Skeleton comes in, you do want to play Fitzy.
Yeah,
because that's all he does.
That's all he does is throw to him.
He'll throw 4-yard passes to Fitzy. He might not get you $150, but he's going to get you 15.
And if that happens, I'm telling you, trade David Johnson if that happens.
I don't know about that, but preseason. I was trying to find the schedule here for when you can move on from them, but yeah, and I think that defense is solid. I know they lost Calais Campbell, but I still think they're going to hang.
Yeah,
in
they're
there.
like my 7-8 defense in that range for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a bunch of them above them, but they're in that group we talked about in our last video that in our league is going to get 20-point difference between the leader and them.
Right.
Yeah, they're not in that 10 to 15. That's just going to cost you, honestly.
Right.
But yeah, that's about what we have on.
Yeah, there really isn't really much. There's no other backup running backs. There's no tight ends. There's no nothing else. So with Arizona, that's really all you got.
All right. Moving on to the grunt of the NFC West, you could call it. What are your thoughts on the Rams?
We're going to skip the quarterback because that guy's not going to be
I don't have
talked
any
about on
thoughts
the
on the
show.
Rams. They're a waste of breath.
Which is, I mean, they got Robert Woods they signed where, at spots he was okay in Buffalo, but he was never really given the chance, except for when Sammy Watkins was injured. But Cooper Kupp is my guy to watch on this offense. They drafted him.
So we're going to talk about the Rams and we're going right to the sleepers?
Well,
okay.
I mean, what do you want? We're going to get to Gurley in a minute. I'm just going to
or nothing. That's all it is.
Hey, but Cooper Kupp is one of these guys that, he's a slot receiver.
Right.
He's going to get the first down catches if they skip first downs.
Right.
But,
right. Let me just interrupt you 1 second. I just want to get back to that Fitzy thing against San Fran where he's a monster, and I think he's going to fade at the end because he's older. He gets to play San Fran. He's at Indy. I'm sorry. Hold on. I just had it. Right. Week 9, it's Arizona at San Francisco. So maybe you keep him for week 9. He has that big game.
Unload him.
And unload him for
it
something.
some people that might interfere with your trade deadline.
That's true. That will be a thing. If you want to move on him earlier, San Fran plays Arizona at home.
What's the date on that game?
So Fitzy's at home in week 4.
Yeah, what's the date on that game in week 9?
October 1st.
Okay. So our trade deadline is November 7th or
I think it's the second week.
Second
I think
week.
it's the second. I thought it was the second, but one of them. But yeah, so if you can wait that, so if know when your trade deadline is, if you want to get a game where he really should be good.
Oh yeah.
In week 4 he's at home, so that should be the game he really goes great. Maybe you can move on from him and maybe grab an RB2 or maybe
even a number 3 wide receiver that's going to be more consistent throughout the year than he's going to be. To be honest with you, because people do fall in love with names. A lot of you guys out there that play know this and have probably done some of these trades where you look at Gurley last year moved 3 or 4 times based on the name, like somebody wanting to be like, oh, he's going to do something.
Right.
And they traded something for him.
Yeah. He is a big name. Maybe you can flip him for Demaryius Thomas, who's maybe not have a great year, and he has a big game right there, or maybe an Emmanuel Sanders or somebody like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe a late round WR3 or flex play that would be more consistent for you. Going down the road, maybe somebody younger, not someone older. So. But anyway, back to the Rams.
Yeah, and then you got Tavon Austin here too, who the coach has already said, the new coach, McVay, is that his name? I think? Something McVay, Sean McVay maybe?
McVay.
So,
Who's a good coach. He's 30. He was at Washington last year. He's He's the real deal, I think. We'll see how he is as a head coach.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
a
know
completely
about that,
different
but
animal.
He said that Tavon Austin should still keep his return ability. So if you're in a league like ours that you do get return yards, he's a little bit more valuable. He was the leading receiver last year, but when you hear these stats, it's kind of embarrassing. 58 catches for 509 yards.
106 targets is the top. I mean, they signed Robert Woods.
Actually, I made a mistake. He wasn't the lead receiver. I think Kenny Britt was the lead receiver last year.
Yeah, Kenny Britt was. Yeah, he's gone.
But he's gone. So Tavon Austin should
That's too bad, too. I think that's a big loss that a lot of people don't talk about. And the bad part is you think, okay, well, I think Britt caught 90 balls.
Yeah.
And you think, oh my God, yeah, where'd he go? I'll look at him as a later round because he doesn't have a popular name. But then he went to Cleveland.
So he went from.
Thank you very much.
He went from Goff and who was the quarterback?
Goff and Case Keenum.
To now he goes to
Osweiler, who brought down Hopkins.
Yeah.
As fantasy relevancy. And then if Osweiler don't start, they drafted the rookie out of Notre Dame that you like.
Yeah, well, I like Notre Dame. Don't get this wrong. I told both of these guys that Will Fuller will be a bust, and mark my words, do not draft Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, so he's just got bad written all the way around. And the rookie quarterback they were playing last year, I can't remember he's junk too. So Britt really would have been something good at the Rams. He was a nice little player last year, giving us pretty solid points.
I was actually shocked he left and they let him leave. I thought for sure he was going to get
and he only got $8 million a year.
I know.
You know what I mean?
12 prior,
it's almost Donnie's money.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So... it's too bad.
We wouldn't be sitting in this room if he made that much money.
Because Tavon Austin is probably going to be their guy. Because I know they picked up Robert Woods from Buffalo, who is sometimes they're one because Marquise Goodwin got hurt, and then good old Sammy Watkins got hurt.
But he's a possession receiver.
He's a 3 or 4 receiver on a.
It's going to be hard.
Buffalo. He's a 3rd or 4th receiver on Buffalo. He comes to the Patriots. He might not make the roster.
Yeah, they'll cut him. But that's why I like Cooper Kupp, young kid. I think the new coach might just like it's his draft.
He has upside. We'll see.
He has the slot receiver upside, but definitely him and Tavon Austin, the only 2 receivers
right. And you watch how Tavon
don't get me wrong.
goes.
This has to be in like a 14-team league for me to look at these.
It's got to be deep.
Because in a 10-team league, these guys aren't getting drafted in our league.
Yeah, they're on the free agency wire. We'll have to see how that Cooper Kupp. A lot of people see him as he can throw the ball deep to him. He runs every route. To me, I don't think he's big enough.
He looked really good in that Senior Bowl that I watched.
Yeah, he did look good, but I don't think he's big enough. He's not like 6'4", 6'5". He's like a 6'1" guy. So, and he's not as fast as Austin. I don't think he takes the slot over Austin. Yeah. But I'm not a Kupp guy. No. So in the
I like him for what you're going to get, and
he's a free agent, right?
Yeah,
so you're talking 14-team leagues.
But then maybe Woods goes down and he's the only guy. I mean, maybe he gets the Kenny Britt treatment.
I think we're already spending too much time on the LA Rams.
Yeah, all right. Well,
it's really right. So you got Gurley. I think we talked about him on our previous video. I think he's got good upside. I think McVay's going to give him all the goal line stuff. His ADP is
second round.
McVay helped Fat Rob last year get fantasy points for me. So if he can do that, Gurley's gonna have a better year this year than last year.
He can't get worse. I mean, he had 885 yards rushing, and he had 6 touchdowns. So I like I said in the other video, I think he's 1,000 yards with about 10 touchdowns.
I think 10. I think 10's good, and I think in the receiving game, I do think, like we said last time, I think it's 1 or 2 touchdowns in the receiving game.
Like you said, he can't get worse, like we talked about.
Yeah, but McVay, he's going to throw to the running backs. Look at Chris Thompson last year.
And in the Rams defense, who I like, McDonald is a monster in there. They have a good defense.
Biggest sleepers
but the problem is they're on the field all the time and they get worn down.
That's what kills them.
And by halfway through the year, that defense is a joke.
Well, to go back on
don't get fooled if they start having a good year.
Donald, in my opinion, is probably the best defensive lineman.
Yeah, probably.
Right
but
now.
They're on the field all the time. They can't get off.
They also
I don't see that changing. I don't think
Goff
Goff takes this incredible step after playing, whatever he played last half a season. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Anyone that's watched Hard Knocks last year, you've seen him in that film room. He's not doing anything this year. They're going to be drafting the quarterback out of USC or one of these kids in this upcoming draft.
Yeah, I don't mind for that theory because they paid him too much money. And they got to give him more
They gave up a ton of stuff, but...
Yeah, they're not people.
Coaches are going to watch their quarterbacks. That's
it was a mistake draft. That was a bad signing. That was the coach got fired. And I think that pick kind of cost them.
So that coach was 4 years too late. That's a different story. We could do a whole entire video on that.
Yeah, we can. So that's good for the Rams there. I think there's nothing else on there. But if you guys have any thoughts on it, let us know. Like, subscribe, comment,
definitely.
Email us, and if you think there's someone on there you think we're not seeing, let us know.
Fantasy Football Wrap-Up, all capitals. Just
Facebook.
Facebook. Send it right out there. Post it right there. We'll respond as soon as we see it.
Or email Donnie. Captain Guns. He's got it right here. We got some questions for later.
fantasyfootballwrapup at Gmail.
Yeah, Donnie will answer your questions on the show. So
yeah, we got a few of them coming
let
up
us know.
later. So.
Yeah, let us know.
To keep the ball rolling downhill, where do you guys see the 49ers trending to? Or bright spots that they
Well, they have a little
They're in
bit more.
California. That's the
They have a
bright
little
spot
bit more, you know, players that could be relevant for your teams
I guess.
flex-wise.
To me,
I mean, Hoyer, a lot of people underestimate him.
to me, what we're going to talk about here, their whole team is a sleeper.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Everything's a late round draft pick.
No, you're right.
Nobody's relevant.
And for me, I'm a bigger Joe Williams guy than I am Carlos Hyde. And
Right.
I was the biggest Carlos Hyde fan.
You
I
were.
drafted
You
him
drafted him,
every
you had
single
him.
year.
Yeah.
that
Well,
he's been in the
he gets
league.
hurt all the time. Like,
And Joe Williams is
Played 13.
special to me.
he played
so.
13 games, but he played hurt in a few games. He didn't
Yeah.
miss the 3.
Yeah.
They had Sean Drona to go, who played well.
Yeah.
And Carlos Hyde plays well when he plays.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't know if he's going to be well in that Shanahan system. Reports are so far he's had a little trouble picking up the offense, but that was early in minicamp, so we'll see how training camp goes.
Yeah.
That's something you want to watch.
But-
If you hear he takes off, because remember, Kyle Shanahan last year with Freeman and Coleman,
Yeah.
he loves his running backs. He loves to throw
Tim
the running
Hightower's
backs.
there now.
Yep, Tim Hightower from the Saints is there now, so really watch him. I'm a big T. Hightower fan.
Yeah.
I thought
and,
he started taking carries away from Ingram last year.
Hoyer-
He could be good here.
With Hoyer,
As
for
a
me,
flex.
again, this is not going to be any league that you're in 10 or 12 team leagues because there's
Right.
so many, even maybe 14. But if you're looking for a spot start and you're streaming quarterbacks, he does get some matchups throughout the year that are good. And his best year of his career was with
Shanahan.
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But you know, Pierre Garçon is a guy that was
Yeah.
very successful at the end of the year with Washington. Sneaky player down the stretch.
Yeah, I was
He's
kinda
kind of
high.
the opposite of Larry Fitzgerald down the stretch.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
look at it.
And he's an older guy too, and you're right, he had the opposite year. He was slow in the beginning, came on later, had 1,000 yards receiving,
Yep.
had 1,041, 3 touchdowns, 80 catches. Now that was with
Championship
Cousins.
team had that guy in his roster.
Right.
He
Yeah.
actually started him over Crowder last year, and it paid off.
Crowder started slouching because
And-
Garcon was taking him.
and
He
picked
picked up
Garcon up.
Garcon up, and he was on the championship team.
Yeah, he was.
During that week, so don't be
Amazing.
surprised. Garcon has been moving up the ranks. I've been eyeing him all year.
All
Make you
the
a
same.
good, consistent flex player every week, not just a spot start
Yeah.
for bye weeks. He can be a good, consistent player as a flex player, not as a top receiver. All right, so let's just make that clear.
Yeah.
In a 10-team league, 8-team league, he could be a really good flex player. So other than that, there's really nothing else on the Niners. So
Yeah.
Donnie, you have anything on the Niners? I can't imagine. I think we've
Not-
talked way too much
yeah,
already.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
To wrap up the NFC West, what do you guys have on the Seahawks?
You know, kind of a lot, I think. There's a lot to talk about here. Sleepers, consistent. I'll just start with the quarterback and Russell Wilson.
I don't like him. I'm just saying that right now. I don't like him. Just
tell
saying
us-
that right
Just
now.
tell us how you feel.
Yeah, that's just he will never be on my team. I will take Ben Roethlisberger over him.
Yeah.
I will take any of these pocket passers. He's too inconsistent for me.
You know,
He did have 4,000 yards, so the guys that do like
he's quietly
But
4,000 yards.
standard league, he's better than in our league because
Right.
our league counts completions. But when
Right.
he finishes with like 17 completions,
Right.
yeah, he really doesn't do anything for you.
No,
But,
but he will give you rushing. I don't have his rushing numbers right here. I wish I did. I didn't write them down.
No.
But he does give you rushing yards. He will give you rushing touchdowns. So that will come into play.
He only threw 21 touchdowns though.
Right.
That's the only thing. Like you look at Rivers,
Can
we
you
talked
look up
about
his,
last
rushing
time.
stats.
You look at Rivers
Let's find
last
out.
time, what we talked about. In the last
Right.
video, Rivers threw for 33,
Right.
21 picks, but you got 33 touchdowns.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's
But
gonna
Wilson
score.
doesn't throw a lot of picks, right? He had 11 last
11.
year. He had 21 touchdowns.
Yeah.
We'll give you the rushing numbers here in a minute.
For me, it's just he's just rated too high ADP for taking him where he goes. 'Cause
Well,
he
look,
goes right with Andrew Luck, and to me that's
Sixth,
just
7th round.
yeah. So to me that's just
Yeah.
you're gonna have. I've seen people take him over Matt Ryan, and I think that's just stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got him as the 8th ranked quarterback. He's
He is the
in
8th
in
ranked,
ours. So he's not bad. I mean, we just like other people. We think we can find better people.
I will
later
tell
on.
you right now, take Mariota over.
I like Mariota over him.
I would take
Cousins
Mariota
over
over
him.
him.
Love Ryan. If you're
Cousins
thinking Luck or Ryan,
Cousins is going to be one of.
After
We'll
him.
get to him in a different video, but
Yeah.
he's gonna get a lot of praise from us. But
yeah. What do we got?
He had a little bit of a dip from the year before, he only rushed for 259 and 1 TD.
So that's not really a whole lot. But he was, yeah, look at that the year before, 500, the year before 800, 500, almost 500.
Yeah.
So
they ran that read option with Lynch though back then. They don't do that anymore.
yeah, true. But you know what happened? He got hurt a lot, and he played hurt. That's one thing. He'll give you the games, right?
Yeah,
His games started. He started
played.
all 16, but he was really banged up last year.
He was.
That really limited his rushing. I think his rushing gets better. How was his touchdowns over the years?
21. That's what he got last
He's pretty
year.
much was it.
I think he's in the 20s.
Yeah.
Every
So
year.
if you get 500 rushing yards out of that on top of
Yeah.
the 4,200, that's 4,900 yards. It's nothing to sneeze about. He's not a late round pick.
Yo, I'm gonna get crap for this
But-
from these guys, but you can probably get the same thing out of Cam Newton. To be honest with you, so
Sorry, I was joking.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, maybe. Not last year when I tried that theory and it didn't work.
well, just because it doesn't work for him means it's not gonna work for anyone else. That's his theory,
I am so glad you understand my philosophy now.
which is great because I like a lot of people that he doesn't.
Yeah, it
so.
really works out good. Running back, they're kind of interesting, right? Because they signed Shreddy Lacy,
Yep.
which I don't know. That seems a mistake to
Thomas
me.
Rawls,
Thomas
biggest.
Rawls. Although he was
aside
hurt
of
last
Gurley,
year, he has
aside of Gurley, he was the biggest disappointment because he has so much hype going into last
The
year.
year before, I picked him up off free agency.
He was
and I
getting 20 a
winner.
week.
He was 100 yards, 2 touchdowns because Marshawn Lynch got hurt. He had the groin.
Yep.
And I thought Rawls last year, I drafted him. I thought he was going to be the steal. It was almost like the DJ
Uh-huh.
in Arizona where he had a good.
And they
year
ran the
before.
ball a million times. Their
They do
offensive
like to run
line
the
is
ball,
so bad though.
But the line was bad. I got burnt by that pick last year. I drafted 2 people from Seattle. I drafted Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Because he had a good
We
year
actually
the
made
year
a
before.
trade and it killed me.
He returned. Yeah,
I traded Crowder for Lockett like 2 weeks into the year. He won that one, but I got to the championship and he didn't, so that's all that matters. He can celebrate winning trades all he wants.
That's a good point. Although that
Then again, I lost, so I can't really brag about that either.
Yeah, I got him back though. I took that guy and sent him to the guy that won. Although
Yeah,
I
he
Des
did.
Bryant
He
for
did.
Crowder,
He
so
was-
I won both trades and I lost and I didn't make the trade. So that's worth. But you know what? For your PPR leagues, watch for CJ Procise. He really did well
Love
last
CJ
year.
Procise,
So if
yeah.
you're a PPR only, not standard or anybody else, I think he could really give you some good value.
You know, I watched
he's
him
gonna
at
get
Notre
20
Dame
carries,
because I'm a
but
Notre
he's
Dame
gonna get you
homer,
receptions.
but I'm a Notre Dame homer. But
Right.
I mean, I definitely like CJ Procise. And
Is that where he went to school with Notre Dame?
No, I didn't even go to college, so.
No, I meant him.
Oh, yeah, that is where.
Oh
he
yeah,
was.
I don't care if you went to college.
I thought you asked me. I'm like, I thought you would know this. But
No, consider I've known you all my life.
yeah.
Watch that in PPR. Lacey, I don't know what to make of him. If he stays slimmed down, he was efficient in Green Bay, right? He just ate himself
Eddie
out of that
Lacy
position.
is literally becoming like the punchline of fantasy football jokes because it's like,
But he's talented.
draft this
That's
guy,
the
it's gonna
bad
end
part.
up like Eddie Lacy.
I mean, you watch him when he was at Bama. I mean, he was a monster.
He
I mean,
was.
he was good in Green Bay. Don't get misled. The problem is
The
he
first
eats
year
his
he
way
was
out.
good.
He's almost like Pablo Sandoval of the baseball world, right? He eats his way out of it. So if he can stay in shape, I think that job is his to lose. But again, these are late round picks that, I don't know, they're probably not even worth wasting any more time talking about.
yeah.
But the other 2 guys I think are much better to talk about here.
This is one of my favorite receivers, and I am pretty sure I'm going to get him in the 3rd round because of the way that our draft goes. Like I said, if you know your drafts, you can kind of figure out a lot of this stuff ahead of time. If he goes ahead of me, I have plenty of guys that'll fall.
Yeah.
But I like Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft. He's that Jordy Nelson guy, but he's in that next tier, like the underrated factor.
He just doesn't get that many touchdowns.
Yes, nobody gives this guy credit.
Right.
And year in
That's a
year
good
out,
comparison. It's him without a few extra touchdowns.
he
And
got 7
nobody-
TDs last year. He's not going to get you 10.
Right,
But he got
14,
1,100
right.
yards.
Right. 94 catches. How about you want to talk about efficiency? Right?
Yeah.
You're talking about, now that's also the deep
125
threat.
targets.
He doesn't just catch bubble screens.
No.
So 125 targets and he caught 94 balls out of that.
He killed us in the Patriots game when
Yeah.
he caught that right at halftime. Boom,
Yeah,
down
that was
down the field. We just let them go
yeah.
in 25 seconds to
Yep.
score a touchdown,
Yep.
2 passes.
And we don't know if Lockett got banged up last year. He was good the year before. That's all they had was Baldwin. Baldwin's done this for a couple of years now. The year before, he won a stretch of 9 games where it seemed like he was Jerry Rice.
Yep, and
And
last year
that carried over last year. I think you guys should be excited about Baldwin. If
Get
you get
excited about him,
in
and
the
do
third-
not make the mistake that I did. I took him out of my lineup in the championship for Tyler Lockett because Lockett was going off.
Right.
Tyler Lockett gets injured and he gets 43 points in
Yeah.
that league, and I
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
As much as I'm not a Seattle fan, he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
to
and
watch,
thank
so.
God for my boy Russell Wilson up there. They learn how to throw to the tight end because they make this unbelievable unbelievable trade with the Saints, where Jimmy Graham was probably the best tight end in football.
Although that trade did kind of backfire because their offensive line got drastically worse.
It did. They got rid of Unger in a first-round pick. They paid a big, heavy price, and they didn't really use Jimmy Graham. Last year, it really seemed like Russell Wilson learned how to throw to that tight end, find out what he's good at. Jimmy Graham really was,
he was efficient in the first until he got hurt.
He was really relevant.
I ended up trading Matt Ryan for him because I had Breeze and Ryan, and at the time, I thought I won that deal. I thought for sure that deal was like, all right, I'm giving a guy I just picked up.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
And then that kid ended
You're talking a tight end that's got 923 yards, and I thought last year was the first time they really learned it, and I don't think it was week one. It kind of went as the season went on.
Yeah.
I could see Jimmy Graham having 1,000 yards. You get a tight end, guys.
Don't forget, like 2 or 3 years ago when he was in New Orleans, he was arguably better than Gronkowski back then.
Right.
But then again, he had Drew Brees.
Right.
So.
I mean, right now we got him as ADP, so if you don't know that's average draft position. It's right around 7 to 8.
7 to 8, and if
you're talking about a guy that gets you 1,000 yards receiving as a tight end, which is not a lot of those do that, right?
Yeah.
So Jordan Reed didn't get 1,000 yards, and people are talking about taking him in the third round.
He missed games last year and still got 900 yards.
Right.
So
95 targets, 65 catches, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's a good range. You get him in around 7 or 8, which is kind of where I'd like to start looking at tight ends, 8+. Although last year I did go around 6 with Olsen.
Yeah.
Until he screwed me, but
like we told you guys, we're us three. I mean, Donnie might take Jordan Reed because he's got a fascination about this guy for some reason.
Right.
But we don't really take the top 3 picks on a tight end. It's hard. I know a lot of you guys out there will just be like, well, looking at you, do a mock draft for me, and take the tight end in the 3rd round and look what your team looks like. It doesn't look good because you.
How about this? Now I'm a big Kels guy this year, right? But if you look at most of them, you ask who's the first 2 tight ends off the board, and it's Gronk and Reed, and both of them can only play 16 games.
And then
so you're gonna take them in the
there's
second
people
and third
that will
rounds?
take Greg Olsen over Kelsey, and there's people that will take Graham after Kelsey.
Right.
So
the problem with Olsen is he has to have a quarterback that will throw him the football.
Yeah, his best game is right after I traded for him when Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson played 1 game, and that won me that week. I was down by 20 something. He scored me like 33.
He got his most. He got 200 receiving yards in that game.
Whatever it was, it was retarded. It felt like 700.
Yeah.
Right, and then Newton comes in, and the year before Newton loved them, and last year they didn't. I don't know if he bought Newton a car the year before, and last year he sold him the pound sand. I don't know what happened.
No, what happened is Kelvin Benjamin was injured. That's
Kelvin Benjamin was injured. He tore the ACL because I drafted him. Yep. Who'd you have for tight ends last year, Donnie? Do you remember?
Kyle Rudolph.
That's right. You picked up Kyle Rudolph.
What's wrong with Kyle Rudolph?
Yeah.
Didn't even draft him.
90 catches for Kyle Rudolph last year. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
And free agent. Free agent. How about the year before? Who'd you pick up the year before?
Oh, God.
I know the answer if you don't remember.
I don't even remember.
It was the barn dog.
Yeah, the barn dog. I ended up trading him. That's why I did.
You did. But and I ended up getting him after another trade.
And the Seattle defense is still one that, it's still not the Legion of Boom anymore, but they still got Chancellor. They still got their secondary intact.
Yeah, but I tell you, they're not as good as you think. Like
they're number 8 on our boards.
Yeah,
so.
in our league, they finished 8th, right behind Arizona, and that's not something you'd probably guess if you told me you had a better defense.
But I think that has to do with not being. Their running backs weren't good.
It's also your league, like we talk about it, how your league is set up. Mm-hmm. They get a lot of sacks and they get some picks, but they don't have much in the return because Lockett get hurt. So if Lockett comes back healthy, maybe that changes in our league anyway. But you got to remember too, fantasy is fantasy and real life is real life.
Yep.
In real life, that is a good defense.
Yeah.
Right. In fantasy, it's not middle of the pack. It's top 10, but I mean, it's the top third. But there's.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Don't jump and try to get it in round 6 or 7.
I mean, and don't draft them thinking like they were back in the day.
Right.
Like a couple years ago, they would win you weeks.
Right.
Like they were that good. Like
right now, they might win you weeks at home. Like watch, they're a better home defense than on the road. So if you have 2 defenses and you're a hoarder, play them at home, play someone else on the road.
Hoarder.
Yeah, Donnie.
3 quarterbacks, 2
defenses.
So we'll go to some questions right now. We got
Jay from Florida asks, in a 12-team standard league, keep that in mind. When should I draft a quarterback? And it's 6 points for a touchdown and 2 points for an interception.
So very important. So when you're scoring, some quarterbacks will get 4 for the touchdown. Ours is 6 and 2.
I like the 6. This is actually a pretty good question.
Yeah, I mean we're a 10-team PPR. This is 12 scores, so it's not too much different than ours. We're not a big philosophy of drafting quarterbacks high Boy, I don't like it early. If you want a good quarterback, to me, in my opinion, if no one else was drafting quarterbacks until around 15, I would look at the top quarterbacks, your Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, in whatever order you like them. Probably after round 4, 5, 6, I like them around there. I think they're going to go earlier. They always do in our draft.
Yeah. All right.
What do we got next?
Keeping on the quarterback train, from Pat in Fitchburg, Mass.
Oh, right around the corner.
Yeah, right.
All right, close to us.
Who should I take in a dynasty league? Winston or Mariota?
Oh, that's a good question. They're both the same draft.
Same draft.
That offense in Tampa Bay makes you want to say Winston, but I'm going Mariota.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Mariota just because I think his running ability, I think he reads defenses better. He's not going to throw as many picks, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
So,
what's funny is when they were coming out of the draft, we're big college, draft people.
Yeah,
and,
we watch the draft every year.
I personally thought Mariota was Winston was gonna be the better quarterback, right? He's big, strong. Yep. He led his team to national championship. To me, you win a national championship, not that's the end all be all.
I think they played each other.
But if you play in a big game and you can win the big game, that says a lot about you, I think, as a quarterback. I thought he'd be a little bit better than Mariota. I thought Mariota might have been a little bit more of a bust coming out of Oregon. But not a lot of quarterbacks did well.
No, they didn't.
But you're right. I think I would go Mariota too.
But if you watch that game, I think didn't they play each other in the national championship?
I don't think. No, they played Auburn, I believe, because he threw the winning touchdown pass to Calvin Benjamin.
Maybe you're right. No, they knocked him out because that was a playoff. They knocked out.
I don't think they knocked out Oregon. I think Oregon got knocked out.
I could have sworn they went head to head in Mariota.
No, I don't think so. Maybe earlier in the year, but
anyways.
But I like Mariota.
I think Mariota. He's proven a lot of people wrong. Like
I had him last year. Now I wasn't a big Mariota guy last year, or even drafting, and I was looking for a quarterback because I drafted Carr, who was a bust. I traded for Newton coming off an MVP year, thinking he's going to be hot. That was a bust.
Yeah.
And I was starving for a quarterback. And he told me
he was going to go trade. He wanted me to trade him. Ryan and stuff, but I had the deal for Graham on the table, and he didn't want to go that far. So I said, Mariota's
so I grabbed Mariota, and I streamed him until he got hurt, and he was just as good as Luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was really good. They got Corey Davis, who we don't know what he's going to be, but he looks like
he looks like a freak, honestly.
They signed Eric Decker, who we really like a lot.
I like Decker.
And then they got your boy Ryan Matthews, who you picked up as a free agent last year.
The best pickup for me last year in our league, aside of Matt Ryan, was Matthews. He was literally like 18 points a week.
Yeah.
In PPR.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of targets you pick up. So I think he's got a lot of options. Now Winston has options too. I think Winston is a little bit more of a let's chuck it up to Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson. I don't think he'll be as efficient.
Winston's gonna have more big games. He's gonna have more of these. He's gonna throw for 40. 40 points.
Yeah, he's going to give you a 350, 3 touchdowns. Next week he's going to throw you 220
Mariota's going to throw for
220.
225, but he's going to run for 80 yards as well. He's going to give you 2 touchdowns on the ground or 1 passing.
I think Mariota's going to be consistently 30. Well, in our league, it's going to be about 30.
So completion leagues are 30.
So depending on your scoring, but I think he's
standard, I think he's easily 20 points if you go by standard leagues.
Maybe that might be a little bit generous, but I think he's going to be more consistent. And I think Winston's going to give you some weeks will give you 12, and some weeks he'll give you 25.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's a good way to do your league. I think you want to be Mariota consistently.
You can build, especially dynasty like Pat's saying right here.
Right.
This is something that you have to be with for. You're marrying this guy essentially going forward as your quarterback. But if you get Mariota, I personally in one of these leagues, I like him better than like a Breeze or somebody.
He's moving up the boards, and he was already on my board. I thought I could have got him in around like 11.
We have him as our 6th quarterback.
Right.
That's where he is on our board, and that's
right
behind Andrew Luck. And trust me, he's creeping on Andrew Luck really fast. I'm telling you right now.
Yes, he is. And I had him. I'm a little mad. He's creeping up the board there. A lot more people are knowing him. So go Mariota, and Pat, thanks for the question.
To wrap it up, Justin in Tennessee. As ex-teammates, who do you like better this year, Eric Decker or Brandon Marshall?
Good question.
Good question. Boy, when they were at the Jets together a couple years ago, Marshall had that big 1,500-yard season, double-digit touchdowns.
Decker was what he always does. He was what he always was. Because if you remember back in Denver, he was the shadow. He wasn't the guy.
Right.
But he was still consistently a number 1 wide receiver.
He gave you 8-9 touchdowns. He'll catch 6 balls for 80 yards. He's very consistent. And like in our league, he would consistently get anywhere from like not 13, probably more to 15 to probably 18 every single week. Never giving you 6 and then 20. Just always so consistent. He's a great flex player. Marshall was better then. Now Marshall's a little older. Decker coming off. I think they're going to have similar years.
I personally, this is going to actually shock these guys. I would go Marshall, honestly, in this one.
That is shocking. You're not a Marshall guy.
I'm not really a Marshall guy, but I think Odell on that side, it's going to be one-on-one coverage. Right. So when you get into the red zone, I can see Marshall, double-digit touchdowns. He's not going to. Don't think he's going to get 1,000 yards. I don't think that.
Yeah, he's not 1,500 yards. And
I think he's probably
touchdowns.
60 catches for 700 yards and maybe 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, which is a weird number, but you're right. He's going to get a lot of all those red zone threats that they would spread to everybody else because they don't like to run the ball. We'll see what happens.
And the problem with Decker for me, only thing is that Matthews and Davis are there. They drafted Davis to play. They didn't draft Davis to sit.
Yeah, what they did, fifth or sixth or whatever?
Fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
He was like
seventh,
one pick
seventh,
before or one pick after Mike
seventh.
Williams. I don't remember.
No, he was the first one off the board.
So he was the first one. So he was before.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Tennessee drafted
he could be big time, but you don't know if he's going to be the 1, 2, or the 3 receiver on that team. We don't know if Decker's health, how good it is.
And don't think I'm sleeping on Decker because I draft Decker in a lot of my mock drafts because you get him late.
Yeah.
Decker.
Yeah, he's a really late. We're talking 8th, 9th, 10th round. I think Marshall's probably going to go somewhere in the 6th.
Yeah. Decker will have more yards. Marshall have more touchdowns. That's the way I look at it. Decker may eclipse the 1,000 barely. I think I can see him at 1,060, 1,050.
Now we're also going to assume they're healthy. I'd probably go Marshall there too.
I like Marshall because of the red zone, the touchdowns. Right. And you know what? Odell Beckham people aren't going to like to see Marshall on that team. I'm letting you know that right now.
How about this? This is a better answer for you. What's his name? Justin? Yep. Justin, how about this for a better answer, right? Because they're not going to go in the same spot. Marshall's probably going to go around 6 or 7. I think Decker's going to go somewhere 8 to 10, 11, somewhere around there. So it might not be who do you like better, right? It might be more who do you like better at that spot. Do you like Marshall at 6 where you could get maybe, I don't know, Jay Crowder and then get Decker later on?
If you put it that way, Decker wins that one.
So Decker wins that way. So it all depends who do you like at 6. Are you in a 14-team league where there's nobody at 6?
Yeah.
So you might have to get Decker in the 6th or the 7th. So it depends on your league. I don't like Marshall at 6. I like him later. He's not going to be there. So I'd probably go Decker and go maybe Crowder in the 6th, depending on how deep your...
that's the way I would do it.
Does it say how many teams are in his league now?
No.
So I don't know how deep your team league, but if it was
be sure, guys, when you send the questions in, just let us know how many teams you guys play, because it's a little bit easier for us to determine. Like, we're trying to figure out what the
answer's changed because we got, and it's a great question. I love Decker. A lot of people don't know him, and we like him a lot.
Yeah, we've been watching.
I'm a Marshall guy. Out of my team, I didn't get him in the draft last year in the 2nd round because your girlfriend took him.
Yeah, I was mad. Surprise everyone.
He's coming off a big year and
Luckily
stuff like that.
For you.
So, but it does make a difference on where they're going to be drafted. Marshall's going to go. I don't like Marshall in 6. I'd rather have Crowder and Decker than Marshall and I don't know whoever you get in the 10th round. I mean, it's not as good.
You're not looking at
very different way. So
you're looking at Pierre Garçon and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, maybe even someone even worse. So when it comes to looking at it like that, I'd probably go Decker.
Yeah, when you look at it the way you said it, I like Decker. But if you look at it
straight up, and they're both going to be drafted in the same spot, I think of Marshall because it's touchdowns. So I think it helps you PPR or whether you're standard. Because touchdowns work for everybody.
Exactly.
And I don't think that'd be much different. So, great question though. Thank you guys for all the questions.
Yeah, keep them coming.
But keep them coming. fantasyfootballwrapup@gmail. The Don still will read them. We'll do them on live for you.
Subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And
check us out on Facebook. We got a cool Facebook group. We're trying to get started. And again, we're new. We don't get the 15,000 views that a lot of these other guys have.
Yeah, so you're really just directly talking to us. That's how it works. And, and you can, like I say this all the time,
let's get some conversation going. We're having fun.
We'll answer all the questions you guys have.
If there's a subject you guys want us to talk about, let us know too. Email
definitely.
It,
we can do
comments.
shows and
we'll do a whole show. If you guys get a bunch of stuff, let us know. We'll do a whole show just
a freestyle type.
Just on freestyle questions, whatever. So and guys, we really appreciate all the views you guys give us.
Definitely
on the first 2 videos now.
Yeah.
So and this is our 3rd, so we really appreciate it. Anything you got, Donnie?
No, I think you wrapped it up well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.